Like for countless others, elephants are my passion, and in particular, the desert adapted elephants of Namibia. But when one gets an opportunity to appreciate these magnificent beings in a different environment, it is equally as special. I recently had the opportunity to observe the elephants of Addo in the Addo Elephant National Park of South Africa. The park was proclaimed in 1931 when only 11 elephants were left in the area. Conflicting interest between citrus farmers in the area and of course more than a century of hunting for ivory resulted in the mass killing of most of the elephants there. An interesting fact is that the first ranger, Stephen Harold Trollope, had to feed the elephants oranges in order to keep them within the park boundaries to prevent them from causing havoc on the adjacent citrus farms. An elephant-proof fence could only successfully be constructed in 1954. According to Sun Parks, during the 1970s, between 25 and 30 tons of oranges were supplied to the elephants per day. By the end of the 70s, the population grew to 100 individuals and this feeding program was phased out. In the southeastern portion of Addo, where the elephants mainly roam, there is little surface water. The park mainly gets water from 17 boreholes and it is operated by solar pumps. The vegetation, to a great extent, consists of an almost impenetrable thicket of a drought-resistant succulent plant with round fleshy leaves called spekboom. Elephants love them, but it does not provide much shade. What I found interesting at Addo is that during the heat of the day, which measured 37 degrees Celsius at 11 in the morning, more than 200 elephants were gathered at a waterhole where there was no clean drinking water, but only a huge mud pool. And by the looks of it, all of them had their turn for a mud bath. In the absence of sufficient shade to protect themselves from the heat of the midday sun, elephants have learned to use mud not only as a sunscreen and an insect repellent, but also a measure to cool themselves down. The unique texture of their skin is the result of layers and layers of skin cells that bend under pressure, causing deep cracks to form. Water flows through these cracks and crevices through capillary action. This process transfers the skin into a network of channels. As a result, an elephant's skin can hold up to 10 times more water than a smooth surface. In this way, body temperature is maintained through evaporative cooling. Their fractured skin helps to hold the mud and to prevent it from sliding off. All African bush elephants use water, mud and dust together with the unique texture of their skin as a cooling measure. It is also well known that they use their huge ears as a cooling system for their blood. What I found unusual here is that almost none of them were using the fanning action of their ears in an attempt to cool down. I assume that this is because of the effect of the mud in the cracks and crevices of their skin that adds an additional cooling effect. Far too big to nurse, but desperate for a sip in the scorching African sun. A tiny baby's unsure pace across the slippery surface, but Mom is guiding every wobbly step. Teetering on the edge of the mud pool, so tempted by the cool relief, but held back by the daunting drop. Another interesting fact is that the female elephants of Addo are mainly tuskless. No matter where in the world I meet these magnificent beings, I'm always honored by their presence.